So in Canada, we pronounce his last name as Segui or Segui, but across our nation, he was always called that guy that did well with everybody, Diego Segui. Unfortunately, Diego Segui has passed away at the age of 87. Passed away on June 24th, actually. One of the first Cuban stars in professional baseball. He played in MLB as a right-handed pitcher for Kansas City, Oakland, Washington, Seattle, St. Louis, the Red Sox, and the Seattle Mariners. He was a forkball specialist who was the 1970 American League ERA leader. Now, born in Holguin, Cuba, in 1970 with Oakland, he went 10-10 with two saves and 47 appearances, while leading the American League pitchers with a 2.56 ERA. On December 7, 73, in a very interesting deal, he was traded by the Cardinals along with Reggie Cleveland and Terry Hughes and Red Sox in exchange for John Curtis, Lynn McLaughlin, and Mike German. Now, Segui holds the unique distinction of having pitched for both of Seattle's Major League Baseball teams, the Pilots and the Mariners, and in the first game ever played by each franchise. In these contests, he earned a hold for the Pilots in 69 and absorbed the opening day loss for the Mariners in 77. Now, he first came to major prominence back in the early 60s with some stellar seasons with the Hawaii Islanders in that 61 campaign. His most productive season came in 69 for the Pilots, where he posted career high in wins with 12, saves with 6 against only 6 losses. At the end of the season, the teammates voted him the Pilots' only and first most valuable player. After he started the Mariners' inaugural game in 77, he was dubbed the Ancient Mariner, and although he set a Mariners single-game record with 10 strikeouts early in the season on May 5th, he failed to get a win the rest of the way. After compiling an 0-7 record with 2 saves and a 5.69 ERA in 40 contests, 7 starts, he was released at the end of the season. He continued pitching in the Mexican League for under 10 campaigns, tossing a no-hitter for the Cafeteros de Córdoba during the 78 campaign. During his Mexican stint, he was 96-61 with a 2.91 ERA and 1,025 strikeouts in 193 contests. He also pitched with 4 teams in the Venezuelan Winter League during 15 seasons between 62 and 83. He had a 95-58 record and a 2.76 ERA in 213 contests, setting a league all-time record with 941 strikeouts to surpass Aurelio Montogodo and Jose Barroco. The record is still unbeaten. He also ranks second in wins behind Barroco with 109, third in complete games with 68, and is the 4th best ever in ERA and innings pitched at 12,049 2/3. And he was inducted in the Venezuelan Baseball Hall of Fame Museum in 2003. He also gained induction to the Hispanic Heritage Baseball Museum Hall of Fame in August 19, 2006 in San Fran. In 2024, he was given the Negro Leagues Baseball Lifetime Achievement Award by the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Now, his son David Segui, of course, very talented player, is a former 15-season Major League first baseman. Now, he died again on June 24th at the age of 87. Now, the idea about Segui, ladies and gentlemen, just to go recap here: Kansas City from 62 to 65, Washington Senators in 66, back with Kansas City in 67-68, the Pilots in 69, back with the Athletics in 70-72, Cardinals in 72-73, Red Sox 74 to 75, and the Mariners in 77. Now, again, Venezuelan Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, when I saw him pitch back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, mostly in French, it was a very interesting thing because the French announcer said he's got to be probably one of the best forkballers I've ever seen. Now, according to baseballreference.com, he had a WAR of 10.4. Excuse me, the son. My apologies. I think you should call him from now on David Segui Senior, because the confusing gets in. But like I said, either one of them were important. Now, of course, his son passed away in 66. Now, the Mariners has released a statement because he's heavy connection with the team on Sports Illustrated. This is what the Mariners said. Very important. again, the Mariners posted a statement on X on Wednesday acknowledging the passing of Segui. We're saddened by the passing of Diego, a Seattle baseball original who appeared about the first game in Seattle Palace franchise history, and that's a starting pitcher in the first game in Seattle Mariners history. Our thoughts are with the Segui family, including son David, a Mariner in 98 and 99. Now, again, 16 seasons Major League Baseball, and again, a rough year with the M's in 77. Now, the elder Segui was also pitching coach for the Everett, while it was still known as the Everett Giants and affiliated with the San Francisco Giants. Now, like, the idea, we always thought maybe would end up with the Montreal Expos because of the Latino connection or the Blue Jays. But again, that ship has sailed. But the idea about him having that connection, only 8 years difference, I think it would just right to let him pitch that first contest. So again, it's a rough day for the family. And you know, if you're a Mariners fan, you know Gaylord Perry's part of that. But talking about the junior Segui, he played with the Orioles, the Mets, of course, with the Expos, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, the Texas Rangers, and Cleveland Indians. Now, the idea is the son was just as talented as the father was just as talented as the son. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think this. In the history of Cuban baseball players, like I said, he was one of the most prominent. And, you know, there's been many great players from Cuba. We look at Bert Campaneris. You're looking at Leonis Martin. You're looking at Jose Abreu. So it's an amazing thing. The years he played in baseball, ladies and gentlemen, and the last season with the Mariners, I don't think even Roger Clemens himself could win for that year. And ironically, ladies and gentlemen, the idea about his son playing for the Blue Jays and the Expos gave him prominence. But the announcer, when he said he started playing with the Blue Jays, when he said his father is just, having 3 or 4 terms of duty with the Athletics. And he came so close to a World Series with the A's. He came close to a World Series with the Red Sox in 75. Like a good setup man, nobody could hit his pitch when he was on. But like I said, he would never, it was like Eichhorn. Eichhorn could never be a starting pitcher. He had to be, a long and late reliever. So David Segui Sr., we're going to say, we're going to miss your brother. And like I said, 87 good years of giving it to baseball. You have our respect. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our MLB tributes to players living and past, let us know what I like, comment, subscribe, or share.